I woke up one morning, and I know you get a lot of downloads in the morning, so I pay close attention to what I hear when I first wake up. And I was thinking, I don't want to spend another decade of my life beating up against a brick wall because rhinos want to keep the status quo. I don't want that. How do we break it? And so, what are the lessons we've learned? Well, in the heartbeat bill effort, we learned that in the state of South Carolina, they have what's called a family caucus. They've got a motto in their House of Representatives that says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." I think that's a great motto. So they voted as a block. Yeah. They told the leadership that if you want your precious budget or any of these other bills that you want so badly, then you give us the heartbeat bill. And you know what? They got it. And in the state of Arkansas, our mutual friend, Jason Rapert, who is the chairman of the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, he and a group of senators went over to the House committee that was blocking the heartbeat bill and said, if you guys ever want one of your bills to pass in our chamber over in the Senate, then you give us a vote on heartbeat. And they got it. And I thought, you know, if we had had a group of legislators with the courage to vote as a block in Ohio, it wouldn't have cost me a decade of my life. And so if we realize, you know what happens, and this is why people are so despondent. They don't want to vote because they know that when the Republicans get in charge, all the things they promise, they say to us, we're going to defund Planned Parenthood, we're going to repeal Obamacare, we're going to do all these things. And they never do. They had, and I can tell you offhand that we had 174 co-sponsors on the federal heartbeat bill. We had the additional 44 votes necessary, thanks to the help of Tom DeLay and others who joined with us to get this bill through, and the leadership wouldn't do it. All right? If the leadership blocks you, you can't get through.
Now, you're talking about Republican leadership, wouldn't it?
Republican leadership, absolutely. We had a Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican White House, and we had pro-life judges being ushered on the Supreme Court, and the Republican leadership in the House. I met directly with Paul Ryan, and I said, listen, we have the votes. If you'll just bring this to the floor, we can protect every baby whose heartbeat can be detected. And he wouldn't do it. Wow. And Kevin McCarthy stood right next to him, wouldn't do it. And so what we need to do is put together what we want. And I know from experience, when I ran for Congress, everybody said the same slogans. Oh yeah, America first. Oh, we're gonna open the pipeline and close the borders. They all said the same slogans. So if you're a voter, you're like, I don't know which one's where. I don't know who stands for what. But what if we actually, instead of slogans, had substance, where we put down what we really want? And let's just give you a couple items. First thing on the list is to pass the federal heartbeat bill, which again is the floor, not the ceiling, but the beginning place. And what if we, I don't know, abolish the Department of Education? There's a good one. The federal government ought to not be involved in that, right? Well, we've added to that the Anti-Indoctrination Act. And what it says in this thing is that if you have, we've got the power of the purse in Congress. So if you use any of our money to indoctrinate children in racism, critical race theory, or call it by any other name, you're not going to get funds. Or if you teach them socialism with the 1619 Project or any other name, you know what? Or if you groom children, or if you violate the state obscenity law, guess what? You're not going to get any federal funds for education. And that's the way we pull the plug on the indoctrination that's happening in all the schools.